How to choose the right air purifier. 3 simple steps. Copyright 2007, the Air Purifier Guide. Many people actually get a HEPA filter, negative ion. What type of purifier is best for allergies? Is ozone good or bad? What brand is best? And is $450 too much to pay? Which actually usually is. Also, most people make 2 mistakes when purchasing an air purifier. They purchase the wrong technology for their needs, and they pay too much. We'll try to help you avoid these 2 mistakes and answer those questions. There are basically 3 steps. First step will help you determine the air purifier technology that matches your needs. Second, help you determine the room size, volume, and CPH. And step number 3, help you find the right technology, right size unit at the right or reasonable cost. Step number 1, determine the air purifier technology that matches your needs. There are basically 3 kinds of stuff. Big stuff like dust, hair, and pollen. Gas stuff like vapors and outgassing and chemicals. And alive stuff, your mold, mildew, bacteria, germs, and viruses. The problems these create with some people are big stuff can cause allergies, asthma. Gas stuff can cause chemical sensitivity, immune system stress, and is also the source of odor. And then alive stuff can affect the immune system, causing and enhancing colds, flu, viruses, and bacteria. There are basically 12 primary technologies to kill or capture airborne stuff in your home. And if you want to help with allergies and asthma, you want to first remove the big stuff. And to get rid of big stuff, the primary technologies include HEPA filters, pre-filters, negative ion, plasma grid, and recently we've seen filters that actually pull air through water. Most efficient and most effective is the HEPA filter, which is like a large cloth, very dense material, which captures a lot of pollen, dust, and soot. Pre-filters basically operate like a little screen that captures large things like hair. Negative ion, which is one of the most popular on the market today, it's probably the least efficient, but it does capture some dust, kill some bacteria, and capture some soot, etc. Plasma grid is basically a version of the negative ion with a lot of plates to capture more of this stuff. Not the most efficient means, but it's inexpensive and it is washable, unlike the HEPA that you have to replace. If you want to relief and support against chemical sensitivity, immune system stress, and or want to get rid of odors, you want to get rid of the gas stuff, and the primary technologies for that are carbon, charcoal, ozone, and zeolite. Carbon, charcoal, and zeolite are very absorbent materials. That's why you'll often find them used for absorbing chemical odors, chemicals of any kind, and things like cigarette smoke as well too are very effective for that. Zeolite is actually a naturally occurring volcanic compound. Ozone, on the other hand, is a charged oxygen molecule. Ozone is naturally occurring in the environment. In fact, it's the way that nature naturally cleans the air. The ozone, that extra molecule, actually attaches itself very effectively to any kind of odors, some chemicals, mold or mildew, etc. The challenge with ozone is if you get too much, it can actually irritate the lungs. And that's why probably the most well-known brand on the market was pulled off the market, because it was overproducing ozone at an unsafe level. At a safe level or at a low level, and for occasional use or treatment of a room, is actually one of the most effective means for odor, mildew, mold, etc. To prevent colds, flu, viruses, bacteria, and reduce stress on the immune system, you'll want to remove the alive stuff. And to get rid of the alive stuff, the primary technologies are UV light, TiO2, plasma grid, and ceramic. UV light operates at a frequency that kills many forms of flus, viruses, bacteria, and so is very effective, used often in hospitals. TiO2, which is a form of titanium, actually enhances UV light about 1,000%, making it much more effective. Plasma grid we talked about before. And then finally ceramic type of filters, which aren't seen too often, but they operate on the basis of creating a large amount of heat and a little inside the purifier, and when the air goes through there, it'll kill some viruses and bacteria. We also have new air sensors from Japan. Most air technology is over 40 years old, been around a long time. This is some new technology. It's basically pollen, odor, and dust sensors. And by detecting those in the air, it actually be very effective for preventing allergies and asthma attacks. It also saves electricity and guesswork because it allows the air purifiers to stay on and adapt to the needs of the room on a continuous basis. It also turns the purifier on or off or high or low in that way. And you can actually read more about those and see those at airpodcleaner.com. Step number 2, determine the room size and room volume. Many boxes that hold air purifiers you see on the market will say we'll treat a 300 square foot room or purifier at 800 square foot room, etc. The problem with that is that square footage is based on an empty room, not a room with furniture, and manufacturers leave out something called CPH, or cycles per hour. That means some filters will say we'll clean a 1,000 square foot room, but the problem is it only takes the air in that room and puts it through once every hour. What you want to do is look for a filter, and most of them don't say this on the box, but a filter that can clean your room 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times per hour, not just one. That means you've got a good fan and it's being very efficient. So square footage, you can't just look at square footage. You also want to look at how many cycles per hour does it do that area of square footage. Step number 3, find a unit that has the technology and square footage for a reasonable price. What I would look for is a list of a purifier that has at least 5 or more technologies. That way you're covering a lot of ground of the different things you find in the air. Make sure you determine your room size, square footage, including ceiling, and that usually means 8-foot high ceilings. Anything more than that, you'll have to factor that in. And ask for a unit that does 4 to 7 cycles per hour. And believe it or not, most companies you call don't even know what you're talking about. Here are some other things to look for. Look for reasonable replacement filter costs. A lot of companies will sell you a filter, and then when you go to replace the filter, you're going to pay a very, very high price for it. Also look for HEPA. It's the most efficient means. Look for UV. It's not an expensive thing for purifiers to add. Also a timer is nice, so you can leave it on or turn it off. And avoid the no replacement filter units. Usually they're just negative ion or plasma grid, and they really don't do that good of a job. It's nice not to replace the filter, but they simply don't do a good job. For more information and more details on these topics, visit the airpurifierguide.com. And for 9-stage filters with smart sensors and twice the technology for half the price, visit airpodcleaner.com.